My topic, what I speak about, is one of the most vitally important issues of our age, and that is United Nations Agenda 21, Sustainable Development. It is the inventory and control plan. Inventory and control of all land, all water, all minerals, all plants, all animals, all construction, all means of production, all food, all energy, all information, and all human beings in the world. And this is a plan that was agreed to by 179 nations back in 1992. It's a United Nations plan. It's called the Agenda for the 21st Century. And so many of us around the world think that, sustainable development, it just sounds so great. Isn't it about recycling and creative reuse and creating energy and food resources for everyone? And the answer is no, it really is not. It's about moving populations into city centers, concentrated city centers, and clearing them out of the rural areas. Communitarianism is that concept, that social and political construct that says that the individual's rights should be balanced against the rights of the community. And of course, the community is that amorphous, undefined community that we, when we talk about community, we think we're, of course, part of it and that, it's a positive thing. But really, community is constructed. It's constructed of non-governmental organizations, corporations, and government in order to dictate and regulate what it is that happens around the world. And we, as individuals, have literally no influence on that unless we are in agreement with it. If you dissent against the community, against communitarian law, or against communitarian social tactics, you're rejected and basically made an outcast. Regionalization is the stepping stone to globalization, and globalization is the standardization of all systems. All systems have to be brought into harmony in order to control them all. Because when systems don't meet, when they're out of balance or not in sync with one another, they can't be controlled centrally. And the goal of Agenda 21 is one world government and total control from a central unit.
Once again, Rosa Koire, author of Behind the Green Mask, UN Agenda 21. And I hope that gives a sense of the real agenda behind Agenda 21, not the warm and fuzzy feel-good rhetoric of the United Nations propaganda ads, but the real agenda about using people's natural concern for their fellow human beings and the state of the environment, and using that concern as a way to further an agenda of centralization and control. And in case it wasn't clear enough from that interview, you can turn to Behind the Green Mask, where you can read in very simple, plain language Rosa Koire's definition of what this agenda is. She says, in a nutshell, the plan calls for governments to take control of all land use and not leave any of the decision-making in the hands of private property owners. It is assumed that people are not good stewards of their land, and the government will do a better job if it is in control. Individual rights, in general, are to give way to the needs of communities, as determined by a globalist governing body. Moreover, people should be rounded up off of the land and packed into human settlements or islands of human habitation, as they are called in the UN Agenda 21 documents, close to employment centers and transportation. Another program, called the Wildlands Project, spells out how most of the land is to be set aside than that, and that is the base underlying part of this agenda through which we have to understand it. Again, this is not about, we feel bad for the poor animals, so we're going to confiscate this land from all you horrible, mean people and wisely steward over it. It is about taking that land away from the people, herding them into cattle-like, into human habitation corridors and areas where the people are allowed to live, and taking the rest of the planet and monopolizing the use of those resources for people in the clique, the people who are in these global governing bodies that determine what happens with this non-usable land. Non-usable for you and me, usable for the usual connected cronies. These people are in it for the monopolization of the world's resources. This is the key to understanding this. This is not limited to any particular area of the globe. It is a global agenda, and it is being implemented globally everywhere, including the United States of America, where you may have seen the map before about the Wildlands Project, showing the different corridors of wildlife and conservation areas and areas, the no-go zones, basically, where if the Wildlands Project and other such things are implemented, humans will not be able to go without special permission from the overarching international governmental bodies that will be overseeing these types of things. It's interesting when you compile all of the different maps of what they want to do with this, you know, in the Florida Panhandle and over here in the Rockies and over here in the plains and all of this. And when you compile that into the Wildlands Project map, it is quite startling to see here are the no-go zones, and this little bit over here is where you can live. And this is again, this is the ultimate agenda. This isn't just about the Aborigines of Palawan Island or other people out in the woods somewhere. This is about everyone, everywhere, including Americans and Japanese and Canadians and Australians and Europeans, and everyone are going to be increasingly rounded up into increasingly more compact cities where absolutely every aspect of your daily life will be utterly surveilled, monitored, tracked, controlled, and rationed. But don't take my word for it. Take the wet dreams of these would-be social engineers that continue to be foisted on the public as if they're a good thing or something to look forward to.
Oh, hi. I'm so glad you're on time. I'm V. I'm looking forward to showing you around Plandopolis today. My husband works from home. He's a virtual engineer working on one of the city's desalination plants. He controls the robots who do all the important maintenance. I think he basically plays computer games for a living. You ready to go? Have you got your calorie card open on your smartphone? I registered your visit with Slick Travel Corp the other day, so they've allotted you a journey time to match mine. It makes so much sense, doesn't it? Switch off brain and go to work. With this many people around, I'm glad there's a mega computer in charge. We're so lucky. Our kids were allocated a school quite near my practice, so I can drop them off on the way. It saves on our calorie ration. Well, it won't be long until the little darlings get their career announcements. They've been working so hard, so I'm sure they'll get something good. Not that there's anything wrong with fixing carbon scrubbers for a living or anything. Are you hungry? Let's pop to the market as we're passing. Right, what's on the menu this month? No, not meat. It's not your birthday. The Global Food Council are doing a really good job of keeping food production going. I mean, you don't get the choice you used to, but we're better off than most. I think it's probably easiest to walk from here. You barely see a car in the city centre nowadays, unless you're rich. Well, the state knows they just aren't practical anymore. We're all trying to meet our global carbon deal. Electric bikes are so much better for getting around our neighbourhood. And why waste valuable space on car parks when you can use them to grow food? I don't care what you say, Alex. They don't deserve to live in that ghetto. They are completely disconnected. No high-speed transport system, no new internet. They miss out on jobs and many essential services too. Oh, hi again. What a day. I had to make an emergency visit to the Cry Freedom ghettos. I mean, I miss my sister like mad, but I'm glad they went when they moved to New Amsterdam. They're safe from climate change on the floating city. That must be her now. It's much easier to meet up with friends virtually now. So many cities have banned cars in central areas. Ooh, looks like she's got some juicy gossip.